the guts to be where you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So say good night to the bad guy. Go on.
Gonna make you sleep
Last
with
time
the
you're going to
fishes.
see a bad guy.
You've tuned in to Tyranny with your host, Gabriel Quijas. This transmission originates in Scottsdale, Arizona. To call into the show, dial area code 602-635-7243 or add me on Skype. Drunk in the AM, all one word. And now, let's get this show on the road. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, 10/8/2019. I want to talk about what President Trump was saying yesterday about pulling troops out of Syria. But before that, I forgot to do this last week or whenever the hell it was. I think it was last week, early last week. You may have already heard this. You may have already seen this. But this is just a gem. This lady, and she's not the only one that wants to eat the babies. There was another guy I saw online. He had eat the baby shirt, and he was dead serious. This woman is dead serious. This is not trolling. It would be great if it was, but it's not. But what disturbed me the most is that AOC let her talk for so long. I watched the entire thing. I think this one's a little cut down, but let's give it a listen.
Getting rid of fossil fuel is not going to solve the problem fast enough. So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you, you're a pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you're really supporting nuclear deal.
I mean, the lady that's working the microphone, she's down on her knees, holding the mic in front of this lunatic. She could have made the decision, you know what, this is just crazy. We're not going to listen to this. Pull the mic away. AOC should have just interrupted her and say, crazy town, time for you to leave. We're not doing this at my event. But she didn't.
But it's not enough. Even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many people, too much pollution. So we have to get rid of the babies. That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies is not enough. We need to eat the babies. And this is very serious. Please give a response.
Thank you. No, thank you. We'll go ahead. I think we all need to understand that there are a lot of solutions that we have and that we can pursue.
Yeah, and eating the babies is not one of them, you crazy lunatic. Jeez Louise. This is just insanity at its finest, and I like insanity's okay with me. If you want to be crazy, go ahead. But if you're a politician, you should know when you got to pump the brakes and not let people talk, because that was some very bad press for AOC. She got hammered on that, as she should have, and everyone in that room should have. Just crazy. When we get to impeachment and Adam Schiff in just a minute, I've got the number one prank call going back to 2018 of these Russians that punked Adam Schiff. And I just want to play it for you again so you can realize what an ass clown Adam Schiff is, that is leading the impeachment charge. A total ass clown that has had it in for President Trump since day one. The Kurds. I have a lot of thoughts on this because we have a family member that goes over there and works with the Kurds. He goes over there for months at a time in his position and works with them and knows them well and knows what they could do and what they can't do. And he's done this for a very long time now. The thought process of politicians going against their president saying we want to keep soldiers on the battlefield is insane to me. Why don't we give all of these Republicans that came out against the president, why don't we give them an M4 rifle and send them to Iraq and Syria and let them be on the front lines? Let them be there for 6 months. Let them be there for a full deployment where they miss their family, they're getting shot at, maybe even shot and injured, losing a limb, like our soldiers have for over too many decades. I mean, we've been in that region for way too long, ever since stupid President Bush went in there in Iraq on some false allegations of 9/11 being perpetrated by Saddam Hussein. And then we got bogged down. It wasn't a quick mission accomplished, was it? And then we vote in President Obama, who was supposed to get rid of our police state, who was supposed to stop this fighting, but instead he went along with the military-industrial complex and made things even worse. And now we have a president that's like, from day one, from the campaign, saying, I'm going to bring our soldiers home. And this is the second time he's saying he wants to get our soldiers out of Syria. The last time, the generals and whoever put pressure on him and got him to change his mind. Well, here he is again saying, I want our troops out of Syria. And then the left and these Republicans and the media, they all lose their friggin' minds going, he made a deal with Turkey and Turkey's going to murder all the Kurds because of President Trump wants to pull out 50 to 100 soldiers in Syria. We don't have that many soldiers in Syria. This is where the media really lies when they're saying there's 1,000 troops there. There's not 1,000 troops there. I know for a fact, family member that goes over there. The 1,000 troops are supporting the Kurds in northern Iraq. That's where they're at. They're not in Syria. What President Trump said yesterday and his turned into a press conference from doing the signing for the new trade deal, he said there was 50. I've heard it's anywhere from 50 to 100. It's a very small group. There's been pictures of this group. It's so small. It's like a striker brigade. I don't know how many's in a brigade, but they had just one striker, a couple Humvees. We've seen the footage, and it was even press footage going, our numbers are so down in Syria, it's at this level. But now that the president is making a big push to want to bring our soldiers home because it was a campaign promise, and we shouldn't be in a never-ending war footing for people that, to be honest, what do we get out of it? We get injured soldiers and dead soldiers. And the president has to write letters to parents. He doesn't want that. I don't want that, and neither should you. All of our people we've lost since going into Iraq for Iraq War II, the insurgency, and everything that came after. The American people should be glad, whether they like President Trump or not, that we have a sitting president that wants to get our people out of there for good. We should no longer be there. We have no right to be there. We never did. We went in there on false allegations to begin with. Daddy issues. Saddam tried to kill my daddy, so I'm going to get that son of a bitch. And many treat Bush like he's some kind of hero. He's no hero. Neither is Obama for what he did. And all the war hawks in Congress and in the Senate, we need to just fight these wars and fight these wars and fight these wars. Why? There's nothing left to fight for. Are we supposed to embed ourselves between a rock and a hard place, between a Muslim nation like Turkey that has always hated the Kurds, a member of NATO, one of our NATO partners? Where do we draw the line and say, we're not going to be involved in any of this anymore? We could still give the Kurds money. We could still give the Kurds weapons. Hell, we could even send in air support whenever they need it. But the simple fact is just the other day, Turkey bombed some of the Kurds' positions in northern Iraq. They do not want the Kurds anywhere near them. The Kurdish people have no home. Where are they supposed to go? I don't know. This has been going on forever, ever before I was born, before you were born. This fight between the Kurds and everyone in the Middle East. Saddam Hussein used to use chemical weapons on these people. And this is not the first time we've had to not support them. 8 different times. We could support them without having boots on the front line. But even if President Trump says we want to pull these troops out, the condemnation is just ridiculous. Why don't we give the media pundits an M4 rifle and send them over there to protect the Kurds? Why don't we give our politicians a rifle and send them to go protect the Kurds? Why should our military men and women continually put in danger? At what point is there an end game? An exit strategy. We're there. But the war hawks don't want it to end. They want more fighting because they don't have to do it. All they're worried about is elections, elections, elections. President Donald Trump's sudden decision, which wasn't so sudden after all, as the truth is coming out, all the media and even shitty Fox News is turning into a liberal outlet. They made some shit up and they got caught red-handed, saying that President Trump didn't even talk with the Department of Defense or the Pentagon. AOL put a story out yesterday saying Fox News lied. That is bullcrap. The president did meet with people in the Department of Defense, etc., etc., etc. He didn't just go off at a whim and go, I'm going to announce on Twitter we're going to pull all the troops out. No, there was talks. President Donald Trump's sudden decision to pull back U.S. troops from northern Syria drew quick, strong criticism Monday from some of his closest allies in Congress. Let them go fight this war, right? Let them go protect the Kurds. It was condemned, too, by Kurdish fighters who would be abandoned to face a likely Turkish assault after fighting alongside Americans for years against the Islamic State. And that's the cold, shitty truth of it, is that when ISIS was taking over everything, nobody was fighting him. Not even Iraq wasn't even capable of fighting ISIS at the time. There was only one group of people that had the balls to stand up and fight. In the beginning, they lost, but they kept fighting. And they fought so hard that when our family member is over there and he goes to these prison encampments where these Kurdish people, or where the Kurdish people are watching over the 70,000 whatever amount of prisoners of ISIS, former ISIS and family members, the only thing, they're not scared of Americans. They're scared of the Kurds. That's the only people they're scared of. They're not scared of Americans. And I thought that was one interesting little tidbit that family member brought back from over there. He's like, you know what? They're not scared of us when we go to talk to them and try and get some intel and just interview them. When the Kurd comes, when a Kurdish fighter comes, that's who they're terrified of. So we're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Do we step back and allow a NATO ally to decimate another one of our allies? There's no easy solution for this. It is a no-win situation.